Hey everybody, Drew Renella here, Director of Student Ministries at Cobb Prairie Community Church in Lenexa, Kansas. I hope you are all doing well. I hope you've all had a wonderful week. Um, to me, the weather's been really nice outside. The ability just to throw on a sweater and just go out and be nice and comfortable without having to worry about sweating the whole time. Humidity's horrible. Still getting used to it. It's terrible. But yeah, let's start with that. Again, how about that the Chiefs win this week on Thursday? It was a good win for them. We're all cheering for them. Look at that 1-0 as they go. All right, but let's go ahead and jump into this. So, as you know, we've been talking about a series called Stretch, looking at ways to stretch our faith. Week 1, we talked about how we can stretch our faith by making a commitment. When we're truly willing to give God all that we have and everything that we are, that's that. That's the deal. We're in, and it's a way to stretch our faith because when we can fully commit to God, He says, okay, here we go. Let's do it. The second week, last week, we started about how we can stretch our faith by starting something new. Whether that is getting into daily reading of our Bibles, starting praying every night, just something small that we can really do to stretch our faith. And this week, we're going to look at the opposite of what we talked about last week. Again, last week we talked about how we can stretch our faith by starting something new. This week, we're going to talk about how we can stretch our faith by letting something go. Quick question for you. What are some of your bad habits? I know, a lot of times we don't like to talk about those. It's hard to think about. But a few of mine are, first of all, I bite my nails. I'm horrible at it. I do it all the time. In all honesty, I don't remember the last time I actually cut my fingernails. I always bite them. Really bad habit. And another is, I always spend too much time on my phone. Anytime I have a moment to, do anything, my Instagram, my Facebook, I go and check them and just see if there's anything new. When I could be using that time for other things, I spend a lot of time on those. Now, here's the thing. Stopping bad habits is hard. Trust me. I've tried to stop mine, and I'm still trying to stop, biting my nails and spending too much time on my phone. I'm working on it. But it's hard. It's not easy. And the fact of it is, too, some bad habits, they can affect our faith. Now, biting my nails, probably not. Probably not going to be anywhere to affect my faith. But spending too much time on my phone, I could see how that could. I could be taking the time to spend time with God when I'm really just checking my phone constantly. Now, I'm going to give a list of a few other bad habits that we may all have, or pretty much all have experienced. I know that there's a lot of these that I have that could really affect our faith. The first one of those is holding a grudge. Sometimes we got to let that go, but it really affects our faith because it gets into our head. Being around someone you can't stand, that's hard. Struggling to forgive someone, but also on the other hand, struggling to forgive. Both are hard things to do and they can affect your faith. Doing things to hurt others and you can't stop doing those. Now, things may not always seem bad, foul play with you, but I know for me, I joked a lot around. I joke around a lot, and sometimes that hurts people's feelings, but it's hard to stop that because it's what I'm so used to. You get better over time. But sometimes that can affect your faith. And the last one I have is spending too much time doing other things. Like I said, for me, spending too much time on my phone compared to spending time reading my Bible. Now, as you know, we've been talking about Paul. We've been talking about how he wrote Romans and a lot of the other books in the Bible. But right now we're focusing on Romans. Last week we brought up Romans 12:1 and 2. We're going to look at that a little bit again today. We're going to look at how the main point of this was transformation. When we accept Christ, when we make that commitment, we're supposed to be transforming our life. Now, again, last week, like I said, one of those ways we can start to transform is by starting to do new things. But another thing that can help us start transforming is to stop doing bad things, bad habits, to get rid of some things that we need in our life. Because as Paul says in this point in time, he talks about how we're supposed to look completely different than those who haven't accepted Christ. We're supposed to stand out as followers of Jesus. And that's just a fact of it. Now, let's see and take a minute and let's look at what Paul says in Romans 12, 16 through 21 of letting things go. He gives a list of different things that we need to let go of that sometimes get in the way of our faith, that we can't process all the time, that we don't always think. So these are just some of the things that he says. One of those is pride. When we're all up on ourselves, when we're focused on ourselves, compared to focus on the mission God gave us or what God is doing for us. The second one of those is being know-it-alls. The fact of it is I like to think I know a lot, but the truth is I know very little compared to what there is to know in the world, and there's always room to grow and know more. And my knowledge is nowhere near the level of God's and what it needs to be. Another one we've already talked about is holding grudges. When your focus is on being against someone else, it's harder to grow in your faith because we're called to be one. We're called to be in unity with everyone in our faith and to be able to speak that word. And let me tell you something. If you're holding a grudge against someone, it's hard to do the mission God has set for us by going and talking to other people. The next one is revenge. When you seek revenge, your heart is not in a good place. It's not in a place where it needs to be. It's in a very bad place because it's a way of taking away from those things that we really need in our lives. The next thing is letting sin control us. Now, a lot of these are hard to get rid of. That's the fact of it. Especially letting sin control us, because truth is we're human and that's in our human nature to sin. But the fact of it is Christ came so we could stop that. Here's the thing. Sometimes when you let go of things, though, you start to feel lost. You had that thing to hold on to, that thing that drove you, that thing that was there, that you knew what it was. It pushed you to move forward. But the truth and fact of the matter is you want to let go of that. I think everybody can say that. They don't want to feel these bad things. They don't want to be prideful. They don't want to be know-it-all. They don't want to hold grudges. They don't want to seek revenge. And they definitely don't want sin to control them. But the truth of it is, it's scary and hard to let go of things because sometimes you feel lost. And you don't know what to do when you don't have those. Nice thing is, though, letting go is just step one. And Paul goes in to tell us in that same section some things that we can grab onto when we let go of those things. When we look for things to hold on to help us take another step forward. Some of those things that Paul names are: one is humility, compassion, integrity, peacemaking, and goodness. Paul comes to us and says, I'm telling you to let go. But that's not easy, because sometimes you get lost when you let go. So let me help you. Let me give you something new to grab onto, so that way you can continue to walk forward. Now here's the truth. We can stretch our faith by letting go. When it comes down to it, there's just things that sometimes we hold on to that are not healthy for us, that take us down a path that we shouldn't be down, that we don't want to be down, that is more hurtful than helpful. And that's just how it is. But the truth is, when we let go, at first we may feel lost. But a burden is lifted, because we're set free from those bad habits that come up from these things. And when we let go of something, it gives us the opportunity to grab onto something new, something better for us. So I pray for you guys as you go through this week that you just begin to let go of those bad habits, those things that you know are stopping you from your faith growing. I hope you can find those, and I hope you can let go of those. I'm here for any of you guys. If you want to talk about maybe some of those things that you're struggling with that you don't want to let go, please reach out. I'm here for you. Also, I'm praying for you guys as you're in school. I hope everything's going smoothly. I know I've seen a lot of your parents post on Facebook and stuff like that of the excitement you guys have had, which has been really cool. I just hope you continue to have that and hope school goes well. I'm praying for you guys. I hope you're doing well. God bless. I hope to see you soon.